everyone, it's Nicole, and I have another layout using the March Scraptastic kit. This is the last layout, the 21st layout, and it took me an hour and 37 minutes to complete. I'm going to use some watercolor paper, and this is cold pressed, so what it means, it's all like stuck together with some gummy material to the edges, and there's 15 sheets in this package, and I don't have the expensive kind. I think it's only like 140-pound press or something like that, and there's like 300. But I thought I'd give the difference in price is like $75 for like 20 or $19.99. And I figure for what I want to use it for, $20 sounds more like what I want to spend for 15 sheets. And so I'm going to use my gelatos. And the main reason I wanted to do this is because the only thing I had left in my make kit was a few die cuts. Now, I won't say a lot because I used a ton of die cuts. I used up all the wood veneers that came in the kit, pretty much all the die cuts. I have a handful of die cuts. You know what I mean? Like it fits in my hand now, where before it was my iris divider container thing that fits inside my big iris container. That was jam-packed. So there was quite a few green embellishments, and there was no green pattern papers, so I decided to make my own. So I used my gelatos, and I just kind of color the background. I'm trying to make an ombre effect, so darker at the top, lighter at the bottom, and I tried to use the paintbrush with a bit of water, and then at the end, I was just basically pouring the water on the watercolor paper and, smoothing it out with my finger. I wanted to use some eye ink in that green color, but it was too different of a green. So I decided to use, there's a white one called Opaline, and you can barely see it on the video, but in person it gives it a nice sheen to the whole background, so it's nice and shiny. So it just, kind of gives it that extra, it's sort of sparkly, gives it a sparkly little look, and I really love that. And again, because these are stuck together, you kind of have to find an edge somewhere where you can get your fingernail underneath and pull it off. And I had measured off a 12-inch because my package is 12 by 16, which I've had watercolor paper forever, but it was only 9.5 by 12.5, and I didn't even know that 12 by 12 existed until I watched It, and she mentioned the 12 by 12 and the cold press, and I was like, oh, I gotta have me some of that. So I found a retailer online, a Canadian retailer, so I got free shipping, and again I got the cheaper stuff so that it didn't cost so much money. I matted the photo I'm going to mat the photo with just a white cardstock and that basic gray capture pattern paper with all the different colors. I don't like that paper at all, but I tried to use a little bit of it on this page because it had 2 strips on it that was green, so I thought I'd use that up. I went into my Amy Tangerine 6x6 pattern paper pad, and I ripped just 2 6x6, didn't even cut them down. I'm going to use them in the shape that it is. Then I start to work on my title, and I used the Amy Tangerine thickers, and I used the ampersand and the word darling. I used my gray thickers that came in the kit, and then I used the Teresa Collins small letters, tiny stickers to write such a. And then the word lizard, it came from my stash, and it's the Amy Tangerine transparent letters. And I really like to do that. I love using different fonts for my title. And this part of the video is kind of fast because it was a lot of the same thing that I was doing. So I kind of did the faster speed, the ×8, and where there's more stuff going on, I slowed down the video. I felt like I was racing. but I just didn't know if I would have enough things to say to talk for an extra, 10 minutes. So that's why I sped up the beginning of this video. There was a branding strip that was from one of the pattern papers, and I kept it because it was green, one. And the other was I Love the Saying, which I've used quite a few times. It must have been from an Amy Tangerine pattern paper, because this was the theme on this collection. Live the life you love the life you live. So it says that on the branding strip. So I'm going to put it at the top of the layout, and I just use my pigment ink from Close to My Heart, and I inked all the edges in white. I want to use that last piece of wood veneer that was from the kit, and it says "Oh Snap," and I'm going to use that for my journaling. I'm going to use 3 wood veneer cameras. They're from Scraptastic, but I've already used the ones that were in the kit. This was from the extra wood veneers that I purchased, and I almost used all the wood veneers that I purchased too. I barely have any left, so that's pretty awesome. So I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to stick that wood veneer. And again, the main reason was because there was quite a few die cuts that were green, and there was no green pattern papers. So I wanted to use them because green is still, one of my favorite colors. So I wanted to use it up. And another thing, this picture is of my daughter, and we were at Universal Studios, and she found this itty bitty lizard. He was so small, like we almost missed him. Like, he was so small. He was on a leaf. And anyway, she put him on her arm, and I had to zoom right in to kind of get a picture of him. And he was so cute and just adorable and darling. So that's where, the title of this page came about. And of course, the journaling, is going to say, they found this little lizard, and of course the first words out of their mouths were, "Can we keep it?" So then we had to go through the whole thing, that we couldn't possibly take him away from his brothers and sisters and mommy, and he would have a family, and all this other stuff, that we're in a different country and we can't take species to another country. That's really frowned upon. And we had to have the long conversation of why we cannot take this cute little pet home. And so now I'm looking through my Project Life cards, and these are the cards that me and Maureen exchanged. And I still have them near my desk, and I'm trying to grab them whenever I can and use them as an element or for journaling. And that's what I mostly love, those Project Life cards. I've had a few people ask over the last few weeks, have you given up on Project Life? No, but it's going to get real simple. I might do a page a month or a double page a month now, just to try and get, caught up. The month of May, I have almost zilch pictures taken because I, worked quite a bit. So there wouldn't be too many pictures taken. And but I'm just going to try to kind of summarize it, and hopefully, and I'm kind of afraid that June is not going to be any better, because I want to start packing, because we want to put our house up for sale by the end of June. So I'm going to start packing up, and I have 10 days off in June, but those 10 days I'm going to end up, getting up in the morning and packing till I go to bed. And so we'll see how many things I get done in scrapbooking. I'm hoping to take an hour or so off so that I can do a little bit of things, but we'll see. When I get started on something, it's hard to tear me away from it. So, and I just want to get it done. I just want to if it's something that I know needs to be done and it's not getting done, it's just weighs on my mind. So I'd rather just get it done and then have the summer to just scrap and have fun. So at this point, I'm liking all the embellishments that I kind of pulled. And what I did was at the end of the kit, I sat down, of course, on my bed, and there was almost no pattern papers left, but what I did was I put together all the embellishments that were the same colors and then tried to see if there was anything I could come up with that I could use the extra die cuts and embellishments that were left over in the kit. So this is where I was sort of going with the last layout I did, the I Am Canadian. I wanted to use all the red embellishments that were left from the kit. So this is where the pattern papers that were left just did not coordinate. There was no way I was going to make a red and white page. So that was the reason why I just kind of used the leftover pattern papers, covered it with gesso, made my own background, and then I was able to use, the red die cuts that were left. And same thing with this page, I kind of made my own green background so that I could use the green die cuts that came in the kit. And two of the puffy stickers said from the Amy Tangerine collection was the ampersand and the darling, and same thing as the title. So I thought, oh, that is super cute. So I wanted to incorporate it again on that side of the layout. So I just used the Teresa Collins tiny words or tiny stickers, and I spelt the word cute, so cute and darling. And now I'm going to work to the top of the layout. I'm going to add that strip and some washi tape, and the video cut off, so I don't know if I said this again, but I was like 8 minutes in at this point and then realized that it wasn't taping. So if I said this before, I'm sorry. I use this washi tape, and it looks like lizard, and I use it in 3 spots in the thin Amy Tangerine black washi tape, and it comes from the Amy Tangerine +1 collection. I wanted to use that tag that said Happy Times that came from the kit. I cut that die cut in 2, and it's got little stars, so I'm going to put it at the bottom of the layout. I used a doily, and then I cut that circle in half. I'm going to use the rest of the circle to use at the top of the layout, and then I'm going to peel off the washi tape and kind of put it underneath the washi tape. And that happens, I get going, and then I'm like, oh, I think I'd like that underneath, so I have to kind of rip things off and put it underneath. And because I don't plan my layouts, I just at this point I had grabbed all the green die cuts, and that was as much planning as I did. And then I went to my desk with that, and then I said, okay, so I'm just going to use my gelatos this time in the watercolor. So that's as much planning as I do. And sometimes the layouts turn out that I really love them, and sometimes not so much. But you know what? That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we learn new stuff. That's how we discover what we like, what we don't like. And sometimes I even think, oh, I don't think I'm going to post that layout. I really don't like it. And then I think, no, people have to see too, that it doesn't always work out for everybody. Everybody has times where they complete a layout and they go, it's okay. But you know what? The layout is in my album. The memory is scrapbooked. And when I look at memories or scrapbook pages that I did, 15, 16 years ago, there's a lot of them that they're not my favorite, but I love the memory. So that's all that matters. And I don't think the people that are going to be looking through the albums, I don't think they're going to go, oh my gosh, I totally don't like that, blah, blah, blah. I think they're going to be reading the story, and they're going to appreciate the story and the fact that the pictures were kept and the memory was preserved. And so at this point, I added some orange stars from the kit, some wood veneer cameras. I now adding some twine in red, orange and white. And what else did I add? I added a sticker or a few stickers from the Amy Tangerine collection. The one, it's the I love you sign, and the other one is a little heart that I put next to cute and darling, and then the plus one that I put at the top, just because, you know, it was like there was plus one kind of traveling with her. And at this point, I knew that I wanted to back that watercolor paper onto some background so that it would pop out more, because that green, I really love the background, but I found it was kind of, I knew that if I put it on a background, it would really stand out. So I'm looking through my Amy Tangerine plus one 12 by 12 paper. I find this green paper, but again, as you can tell, it's not really making the page pop. It's just kind of blending. So I thought with all the black elements on the page, a black pattern paper would really look good. But as I flipped through my Amy Tangerine pattern papers, there wasn't any that really popped out to me. So I just went and got a black cardstock. And when I'm scrapping like that, I really don't want to go through my supplies and try to find something else. I knew exactly where my black cardstock was, and I was okay with just using black cardstock. So now I want to secure that watercolor paper onto that cardstock, and what I'm using is some score tape, and it's a 2-inch score tape, and I got mine at Custom Crops, and I love it. And you can tear it with your hand, but I find the 2-inch one is really hard to tear, so I just rather use my scissors and not worry about it. And some of it is going to hang over, so I'm going to try to cut it off with my scissors, but score tape is super sticky, and it's sticking to my scissors, and I'm having, you know, one hard time. So I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut off the little excess. And then all you need to do is peel off the backing, and you're ready to roll. And you're ready to glue it to your background. And there is no way that that watercolor paper is going to go anywhere. This is not going to lift in any way possible. With all that score tape on there, that page is nice and secured on that cardstock. The only thing you have to make sure is once it's down, it's down. You know, don't try to lift it to center it a little better. And what I do is if you put it down gently and you don't press down, it's still a little forgiving. So that's what I did. I just kind of eyeballed it, put it down, and yep, it's good. So I pressed it down, flipped it over, rubbed it down. And then I used one of those clips from Studio Calico, and it was a nice orange. So I thought I put it next to the picture to bring kind of focus to the picture. And now I'm going to take out my box that I do my coloring or my splattering in. And I'm going to use my new Lindy Stamp Gang inks. And I think one of them is called Luscious Lime, and the other one, I think I show it, so I'll name it what's on there. I'm trying to cover off my photo. And the challenge on my Facebook group this month is to use new products that you just got in the mail kind of thing. So that's what I did. I used the watercolor paper that I just got recently at the beginning of May or middle of May, and my Lindy Stamp Gang that I just shared in a haul, my last haul. And I believe at this point I only added the green. I think I want to take out the orange too, or maybe I just didn't show you the orange, but there was an orange Lindy Stamp Gang too, and I'm sorry, I don't know what the name is. But I inked it in green and orange. And now I'm going to show you some close-ups, pics, And there you can see where I added the arrows with the chipboard, because once I turned off the camera, I'm like, oh, I want to use those chipboard. I want to use them up. So I just added it, one chipboard arrow to each of the embellishment clusters. And that's it. The page is done. So thanks for watching. Bye.